Hi, welcome back to my Brixton kitchen. I'm Rosie, I'm a food writer, and in this episode I'm going to be showing you how to make my take on Leeks vinaigrette, which is a really fantastic vegetarian starter. Right, so I've got my big pan of boiling water, which is on the boil at the moment, and I've just brought it down to a very gentle boil. And these are the leeks, which I've cleaned, I've trimmed off the big leaves. So I'm just going to pop these in the water, which has got some salt in it, and they're sort of bobbing around. So what I've done is made a cartouche out of greaseproof paper, and it's just literally just cut out in the shape of the pan with a little hole in the middle. So just going to pop that over there. It doesn't have to be perfect, so it's just to help. And then I'm going to set the timer for 6 minutes and check them after that. And while that's happening, we're going to make the vinaigrette, which is what we dress the leeks with. But I'm going to start with some extra virgin olive oil and a splash of white wine vinegar. You could use red wine vinegar or sherry vinegar, depending on what you like. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit of raw garlic in, just to season it, and some salt and pepper. And this is a great dish because it's very cheap to make, and it's really delicious, and it's just made with leeks, which you can get any fresh market, and then a basic nice rich vinaigrette. And obviously you can vary the vinaigrette according to your personal tastes. I like to make it with a bit of this nice Dijon mustard, and then just whip that in. You want to make sure that it's all well combined and emulsified into a nice, smooth, thick vinaigrette. And I'm going to put a little bit of sugar in, just to balance it a bit. Just about half a teaspoon. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit of lemon juice in for some extra sharpness. And some very finely chopped tarragon, because I just love tarragon. I think it works really well with the vinaigrette. Now this is a really, essentially a French dish, but I'm actually doing a bit of a Mediterranean version with some Gorgonzola rather than eggs, and some toasted almonds on top for some nice texture. So the capers and the tarragon are both from Knorr Cash and Carry, which is a really amazing fresh produce shop in Brixton Market Row. Right, so I think that's about ready. I'm just going to taste it. It's nice and sharp, and it's also quite thick and creamy. So I'm just going to check the leeks now. And what I'm doing is just prodding a fork into one of them. And what you're looking for is, you're going to put the fork into the base of the leek where it's thickest, and you just want it to slide in very easily. And also at this point, when they're done, you really start to smell the leeks. So those are ready. So I'm going to take them off, take off the cartouche. Careful not to burn yourself on the steam. And I can see that they've gone a sort of deeper green as well. So I've got a nice baking tray here full of ice cold water with ice in it, because you really want to stop them cooking immediately. You serve this sort of at room temperature. So you don't want the leeks to be hot. It's a cold starter, and it's a really fantastic thing to do at a dinner party, especially if you've got vegetarians coming over, who can often be tricky to come up with things for. Right, so now I'm going to take the leeks out of their cold bath and just dry them off with some kitchen towel, gently, and assemble the dish on the plate. So give your vinaigrette one last stir, and you might want to take, if you've used a bit of raw garlic, you might want to just take that out now, because you don't want someone biting into a big chunk of raw garlic. And then just drizzle the vinaigrette over the leeks. For more recipes like this, click the subscribe button. You don't have to use all the sauce, but it's nice to give them a good coating, and so that there's vinaigrette around the leeks, but when people cut into it, there's enough to go round. I've got some lovely creamy Gorgonzola here that I've just kind of crumbled up, and I'm going to scatter this over the top. Don't be afraid to get your fingers dirty at this point, because they're going to get all sticky with the cheese. And although this is, you know, a fairly economical dish, it really has got quite a lot of indulgence to it with the rich vinaigrette and the creamy cheese. So I think people can be quite surprised what you can do with leeks. Right, and then the last stage is just to scatter over some toasted almonds. Scatter these over, go from a height so that they spread out nicely, and that's really it. So here's my take on Leeks vinaigrette, a fantastic vegetarian starter. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. I'm going to tuck into this now.